Alright, this is question 3.7 from the June 2021 exam, and this is the last question we've been doing from question 3.1. And if you haven't seen that, make sure you watch it, because that's where we looked at the diagram and we analyzed it. It's important that you analyze the diagram before you start attempting the questions, because that helps you move faster when you're doing the questions. So this one says calculate the area of Ptmq, right? So first of all, you are going to go and check what Ptmq is. Ptmq is this shape right here, Ptmq. So it is a trapezium. It is a trapezium, and it's okay if you don't remember that it's a trapezium, because there are usually a lot of ways to solve questions like this, area questions and analytical geometry. You have to look at shapes that you know, shapes that you are familiar with, and figure out how you can find this area here. Usually look out for triangles, because we know that triangles have a very simple area formula. It's just half base times height. So if you look at this one, there are two triangles that we can look at. The first one is this big triangle here. It's a right angled triangle, because this line QL is parallel to MR, which means because this one here is 90, this one is also going to be 90. So we have a bigger triangle that is MTS, right? That is a bigger triangle. And then we also have a smaller triangle, different color. This triangle right here. This triangle right here, which is PSQ. And I hope you can realize that if you take the larger triangle, if you find that the area of the larger triangle, and then you subtract this one, if you take the area of the larger triangle is this in green, the perimeter is green, and then you subtract the smaller triangle, which is orange, the area that's going to be left is this area right here, and that's the area that they are looking for. So that's the strategy that we're going to use, and this is how you look at it. Every time when they ask you to calculate the area of a shape that you don't know, look at other areas around that shape. Look at other shapes that you know around that unknown shape, and then you can figure it out. So here we know that we're going to say the area of Ptmq is equal to the bigger triangle area is equal to the area of, let's say, TSM is equal to the area of TSM minus the area of PSQ, and then we can expand this and calculate the specific areas. You can do it in two ways. You can say, okay, let me calculate the area of TSM equals to half. The area of TSM is equals to half base, and the base is SM times MT. We are using SM here, as our base, and this is our perpendicular height. And the distance of SM or MS was calculated in the previous question. So remember that we found both QS and MS in the previous question. So that means we do have the basis. We do have the basis for both the triangles. What we need to calculate are the heights. So now here our SM is gonna be, SM is the same as MS, it's gonna be square root of 180 times MT. We need to find what MT is, and that is from here to there. And we're gonna use our distance formula here. Let's just do it right here. Distance formula is x2 minus x1. Let's say 6 minus 0, which is just 0. So we're gonna have 6 squared plus minus 4 minus 1. That's gonna be minus 3 squared. And so this is gonna be, this whole thing is gonna be 45. Just put it in your calculator. They won't give you marks for all these calculations, just the 45. And then if you do the same for B, or for area of triangle PSQ, half, we said it's half QS, right? And we calculated QS last time to be the square root of 80. And now we just need to calculate the height here, this height. And to do that, we're gonna need to figure out what P is. But because we have this LQ equation, right? We have the LQ equation right here. We know that LQ is this equation, and we know that the minus 6 there, that is the y-intercept. The minus 6 is the y-intercept, and that's where P is. So that point at P is equals to 0 minus 6, right? And since we have that, we can calculate the height by saying the square root of 4 minus 0 is just 4. 4 squared is 16 plus minus 8 plus 6. Minus 8 plus 6 is going to be minus 2. Minus 2 squared is 4. And this whole thing right here is going to be 20. So you're going to say, therefore, the area of Ptmq, it is not a triangle, it's just the area of Ptmq is equals to 45 minus 20. That's going to give you 25 square units. We don't know the units, so we're going to just say square units. Make sure to figure out other shapes inside the shape that they're asking you to calculate. If you don't know what it is, look at other shapes around it which you know and use those.